People often tell me narcissists discard them in the cruelest way possible. Why is this, Yolanda? Why do they discard us in the cruelest way possible? It's like you never even knew this individual. I've spent so many years with this person. I've given them time. Some people 10, 20, 30 years. People have spent decades with a narcissist. Just being a doormat, just being walked all over, just being trampled all over, not realizing you never even knew this person. And people ask all the time, people tell me this, why are they so cruel? Y'all, because they don't care. That's why. Attachment and allegiance don't grow over time for a narcissist. It just doesn't. Their emotional development stagnated sometime in childhood. So all their human connections are shallow and transactional. That's why. It's why they often seem to value complete strangers above their closest family members. That's why. And it helps that they're unable to feel empathy. They don't feel guilt or remorse. So they'll treat people in whatever way serves them best at that time. Listen, in long-term relationships, they'll have to have been subtly unkind all along. But with advancing age, they become less sophisticated at hiding it. And y'all, it's increasingly blatant with their selfishness and cruelty. It's like they can't be bothered to mask it anymore. Any relationships they maintain over time aren't based on love. See, we're part of a structure they have in their place to satisfy their ego needs and stabilize their self-esteem. Narcissists, use their partners, or shall I say opponents, and children are viewed to them as fallback options as they relentlessly search for bigger and better hits of narcissistic supply. And this is from people who barely even know them. Whereas healthy people develop greater fondness, right? Affection and loyalty to someone that they've spent 10, 20, or 30 years with. Narcissists don't do that. It's why they act so dumbfounded when we call them out on their hot and cold behaviors and the cruelty, right? They don't understand the human bonding experience and why we expect much better from them after so many years of devotion and shared life experience. Narcissists are excellent actors and fakers. Listen, they can have you utterly convinced that they're good, morally upstanding people and capable of the human emotional experience, but they're not. The truth is they're cold-hearted and extremely calculating. Their abuse is often delivered so subtly that the victim has no idea that they're not even in a healthy, mutual, loving relationship. Y'all, that's how it is. You see, with hindsight, right? We begin to see that there's always ulterior motives. Their whole life has been a game of chess, manipulating and maneuvering people around like pawns. Probably because no one ever handed us a manual or a handbook on NPD. We always assumed their experience in relationships was similar to ours and that they must love and care about us too, right? And surely wouldn't do anything to hurt us on purpose. And that's how they get away with it for decades. This is how. Y'all, there's no handbook. Nobody told us about narcissistic abuse. No one explained this to us when we were going to school. There was nothing, people, just turn this to a surface level thing. Narcissist, someone who gets in the mirror and thinks the most of themselves. People who are so self-absorbed. Y'all, the rabbit hole goes deep. Nobody explained this part of it to us, right? And that's how they got away with it and still getting away with it. And they've been doing this for decades, y'all. And when it's noticeable, the slip of the mask, or several of them, and we begin to observe the pattern of coldness and cruelty, it's incredibly shocking and destabilizing, y'all. It really is. It is because once a person becomes someone that the narcissist intends to discard, the narcissist sees them as a troublemaker. And they don't want them affecting anyone in their loyal circle. See, by discarding and influencing the loyal circle against them, the narcissist's intention is that they will discard the person too. This is how it is. The narcissist's boat won't be rocked, and they continue to gain their narcissistic supply from their groupies, from their enablers. The narcissist gains a lot of narcissistic supply from the pain of the person they discard. Every time they think about their cleverness and the right to treat the person cruelty, they get a burst of a feeling of importance, and it feeds their ego. This is how they're able to do it and not care. They are unable to see someone as good and bad. So when you annoy them and they cannot, they kind of part away from all the good things that you did for them, right? It could be in a year or a week or even this morning. It doesn't matter. At this specific moment, they see you as a troublemaker, 100% troublemaker. And they go all in with the cruelty. And what justifies their cruelty in their mind is that you did something that hurt them, or they are low on energy that day, right? And they have to recharge. And guess who they consider as their battery, right? Yeah, you. They're like vampires. Instead of blood, it's your life's energy. If you do something that they deem as hurting them, and they're super easy to hurt, right? They feel it gives them a blank card to do whatever they want as a retaliation and revenge. Your happiness alone, no matter insignificant the cause, is a huge trigger for this narcissist to get hurt easily. They can be happy, but you have no right to be happy. And revenge and retaliation is their second nature. They live for it. A revengeful action will cross their mind every day. And guess what? A lot of times maybe they won't act on it particularly that day, or maybe not at all, but it's always there. And it became a way of life over time at a very young age. And they have completely forgotten that any other type of life is available, accessible, or possible. They don't care about that. Anything annoying or hurtful that they do to you is always intentional. Some of their behaviors are even automatic. The constant lies started out very young, y'all. And sometimes, listen, they lie so well, they don't even have to think about it. The original intentions has been there for so long. See, that brain that they have is rewired itself to have automatically picked up on all these horrible behaviors. And this is how it is. They never stop doing the things that they do. And discarding you in the worst way possible, is what they do. People ask me all the time, I spent all this time with the narcissist. How could they just cruelly just devalue me and throw me away? Y'all, because listen, they don't care. That's the simple answer. But listen, in the shortest form possible, listen, y'all, that's just how they roll. That's it, that's all. This is how they roll. They want to break you down. And I tell y'all this all the time. With the narcissist, it really does not matter who you are, how long you've spent with them, how much of your life you've given them. They have no problem telling you things like, why did you stay? I didn't hold a GU into your head and make you stay. You could have walked away if you felt I was like that, or I did this. We're talking about people who never take blame for anything. We're talking about someone who never says it's their fault. We're talking about a person who does not believe that they can do any wrong. You can't make this stuff up. Make it make sense. Because it doesn't. But when y'all say things to me like that, when y'all say things like the narcissist just discarded me, they threw me away like a paper plate. It's like I was trash to them, right? They never cared. I spent 20 years with this person. I was married to this person for 20 years. We were together for decades. We came up together as children. It doesn't matter to a narcissist who you are. Listen, if you can mistreat your own family and children, a person outside of that is nothing to a narcissist. They do it to their own family, their own kids, the children they bring into the world. You can't make it up. You just can't. Any and everything that they do to you is intentional. Y'all, they get kicks out of dragging people down. That's just what it is. And I've made videos before about the discard. And I have some new subscribers, right? So a lot of y'all haven't probably seen my videos about the discard, right? But let me tell you something about narcissistic abuse. There's always something new that the narcissists are doing. Y'all, these videos can actually go on for a lifetime. Let me tell you why. Because people are constantly running into narcissists and have no idea what narcissistic abuse is. And the narcissists are always doing something. Like, we sit around and we learn, right? And we do research, right? And we find out things about narcissistic abuse. They're sitting around finding out ways and things that they can do to up the ante, to change their behaviors. Still keep the same bad behaviors, but better at hiding them. So it's so very important to get the understanding and understand what this is, and do all that you can to listen to these videos and make no mistake about it. Just like y'all listen to these videos and y'all understand what's going on and you're doing research and you're learning about narcissism, they're doing the same thing, learning how to continue manipulating people, how to get better at manipulating people, how to get better at tearing people down, how to get better at hiding their bad behaviors. Listen, I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. This is what they're doing. Because it's not going to stop. And imagine some of them are raising children, right? Some of them are raising kids that they don't even want. They use children as pawns just to hurt the other person. Make it make sense. Y'all, it's a dirty world. It is. You got to stay up and stay woke. It's no joke. And they're everywhere. And then guess what? They're multiplying. Just like people are learning, they are multiplying. And narcissists are raising children. Imagine that. What they're teaching them. They don't install goodness into children. They don't. That's why I always say I feel for those who have children with the narcissist. Make sure you are really teaching your children. Because guess what? With the narcissist, it's an uphill battle. It never stops. You know what they do to adults? Imagine what they do to the younger minds, to the youth, to the children, to their own children. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. It's a sad story. So for all of you who talk to me about, oh, they discarded me in the cruelest way, that was the goal. That was the goal. The thing about being discarded is you can't stay there. Easier said than done, I know. But you cannot stay there because that's what they want. You stay there and they win. They do. This is how they feel. You can't stay there, y'all. And it's not easy. It's not easy. Because once you run into a narcissist, right? You realize how many you've had in your life, or you've been dealing with them your whole life. And boy, that's a gut punch for real. You sit down and you're like, damn, all these narcissists, I never even knew about this. And then what happens? You get mad at yourself for not knowing, right? For all this time not knowing that you were dealing with somebody who was like this, that you had something like this in your life. You thought this person was just crazy, or they were just crazy, or something was wrong with him, or something was wrong with her. All along, you're dealing with a whole narcissist. Wow. It's nothing to play with. But you got to stay encouraged, y'all. You got to stay encouraged. You can't let this drag you down. Once you're free, you can't let this drag you down. You have to stay up. You have to stay awakened to this type of stuff. Because guess what? It's out there and they are all around. And they are getting better at masking this behavior. And once you see past the mask, you can't unsee it. And that's why they're getting better at it. It's just what it is. So for those of you, like I said, who wonder why they discard you in the cruelest way possible, because that's the goal in the first place. This is what they want to do. They discard you in the cruelest way possible, no matter how long you spent with them, because they don't connect or attach to anyone in the first place. Doesn't matter how long you've known them. That doesn't matter to a narcissist. It only matters to good people like us who are rational, who understands attachments and relationships. They don't attach to anything. Anything a narcissist does is to serve them. Anything a narcissist does is for narcissistic supply only. They do what they do for supply and supply only. Nothing more, nothing less. It's all about the supply. Not about love or a relationship. None of that matters. Only the need for supply. Remember what I like to let you know. One thing about a narcissist. They're good at one thing. And that's the narcissist on you. And anybody in close proximity. And that's it. I hope I helped somebody with this video. I really hope I helped somebody. Please take the time out to like, comment, share, subscribe. Turn on those bells so you will know when I drop another video. Until next time, guys.